solve for x given that tan x minus 1, this is in brackets, multiplying with 4 sine squared x minus 3 is equals to 0. Alright, so let's get started. So as you can see, what it is since you have a product of this first part with that second part, giving us a 0, it means that it's either the first part is 0 or the second part is 0. So we'll say that tan x minus 1 is equals to 0, or 4 sine squared x minus 3 is equals to 0. Now for this first part, we understand that the negative 1 will be pushed to the other side, so we get tan x, it will be equals to 1. And from this we need to identify values, or rather angles, such that when say tan of that particular angle, you simply obtain a 1. And we understand to say from the unit circle, or rather from special angles, such a value is simply 45 degrees. So say that x is 45 degrees. Now this is not the only value we have. We also have another one, which when we say tan of that particular angle, it will give us 1. Now here we're getting a positive 1, so which means that that angle should belong to a quadrant where tan is positive, that is apart from the first quadrant. So this is in the third quadrant where we find tan to be positive. So to find that angle, we'll say that our x in this case will be equal to, since it's in the third quadrant, you simply say 180 degrees plus the reference angle, where we have that the reference angle is 45 degrees. So we say that the other value is x equal to 180 plus 45 degrees. 180 degrees plus 45 degrees simply gives us a 225 degrees. So for the first case, which is this one here, we simply obtain x to be 45 degrees and also to be 225 degrees, as these are the two angles that gives us 1 as the value for tan. Alright, so now we'll move on to the next part. Move on to this one. So this one here is 4 sine squared x minus 3 equals to 0. So we have 4 sine squared x equal to 3. That's when you add 3 both sides. Then from here you divide both sides by 4. So 4 and 4 go. You have sine squared x to be equals to 3 over 4. Now from here, to find sine or not sine squared, we simply need to square root both sides. So the square goes. This therefore leaves us with sine x equal to plus or minus root 3 over 2, as this which we have here simplifies into that. Now from here we understand that this is the same as saying sine x equal to root 3 over 2, or sine x is equals to negative root 3 over 2. Okay, so now what we have is that we look for an angle such that we obtain the value root 3 over 2 for sine. And this is where sine is positive. The angle for sine which will give us root 3 over 2 as the value. So we understand that here, being that this is positive, we'll look at the two angles in which sine is positive, and that is the first and the second quadrant. So for the first quadrant, you obtain 60 degrees. So x is equals to 60 degrees. Alright, now moving on to the next quadrant, which is the second quadrant. You understand, say to find x for the second quadrant, you say 180 degrees. minus the reference angle, which in this case will just be 60 degrees. And this therefore gives us the other value to be the other angle to be 120. So both 60 and 120 for sine simply yields the value √3 over 2. Okay, so we now move on to the next one, which is giving us a negative √3 over 2, and that is where sine is negative. So that is this third and the fourth quadrant. So we understand that to find the value of x for the third and fourth quadrant, we use x is equal to 180 degrees plus the reference angle, which our reference angle in this case is 60. So we simply have x is equals to 180 degrees plus 60, and this therefore gives us 240. Now moving on to the fourth quadrant, we need to understand, say, x here will be equal to 360 degrees minus the reference angle, which our reference angle is 60. So say x will be equals to 360 degrees minus 60 degrees, hence x is equals to 300. So we can therefore conclude to say the values of x are 60 degrees, 120 degrees, 240 degrees, and not forgetting 300 degrees. So all these are the angle which define this trigonometric equation we have. Thank you very much.